Okay, so the next lesson we're going to talk about in the Bansenshukai today is called Zasagashi. I think the majority of you have done Zasagashi with me already. It's a technique that we do, but we're going to read kind of a little bit of the message from it within the Bansenshukai. Then we're going to take some turns and kind of go over the particular skill, okay? This technique is Zasagashi. This technique is used when you get into the enemy house and you do not know if the enemy is waiting for you, or if you have not formed a mental image of this place. You walk along the side of the room. If the seiya hits someone, thrust forward, remove the scabbard, and then cut down the enemy. So I'll read it one more time so you get the kind of concept of what we're doing, and we'll just kind of play with it a little bit. This technique is used when you get into the enemy house and you do not know if the enemy is waiting for you, or if you've not formed a mental image of the place. Walk along the side of the room. If the seiya hits someone, thrust forward, remove the scabbard, and cut down the enemy. What you're going to do, once you get the sagyo all the way down here, you're going to keep it like this. And you're going to take the scabbard and you're going to put it on the end of your sword like this. See? And you're going to hold this piece like this. Now sometimes there are different techniques where they hold it in their mouth because they're going to do something else with another. Like if you have like some sort of like a little Minomi torch or something, this can be a bit in the mouth. You can tie this to the obi. There's lots of different things that you're doing with this, okay? But ultimately you're going to get close to one side of the room, because if I get in the enemy's house and I don't know if someone's waiting on me, or if there's like a, someone like a, we call a security guard, if you will, or someone knows I'm coming, or maybe I don't, again, he says you don't have a mental image. And what that means is you break into someone's house, but you don't know where the couch is, you don't know where the coffee table is. So there's nothing like you actually get in, you get through the security alarm, you pick the lock, you get in the house, and right when you're walking in, bang, you hit your shin on the coffee table. And then the dog goes, roar, 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 and you're like, shit. I mean, you got through all the hard stuff, and then you get caught because of stupid shit. So that's what he means by you don't have a mental image of the place. You don't know where the coffee table is, the lamp, or I'm using modern tools, but you guys catch what I'm saying. So this is going to be on the end, and what you're doing is you're slowly probing the room like this, right? And then you'll inch forward and probe, and as soon as someone, maybe I hit a person, and when I hit a person, they might knock that off, right? When they knock it off, I retract, and then I thrust into them, because they're the ones guarding, right? And at that point, if you've already killed someone and you don't know the area, then you need to get out of Dodge. It's not like they already know you're there. You catch what I mean? The best part is to get in and get out without being seen. Back and forth, and you're going to have another training partner. You inch forward, back and forth, and then when you hit them, they're going to draw their weapon. This is technique number one, and they're going to knock this off the blade. Once they knock this off the blade, you're just going to step up and step in with a ski. Does that make sense? Okay. Now I want you guys to also practice the idea of stealth. Like if I did this, I'm gonna purposely make a ton of noise so you guys can hear what I'm doing. If you did this, listen. I mean, shit, you don't need to do this. That's how loud you're gonna be when you're moving around. They're gonna know where you are. So we do want to practice silent moving with this particular method too, because again, there are the book ninjas out there that's like, no, this is Zasagashi, but I've seen it, the videos, they're so fucking loud. It's like, you missed the point. That's you going in with this, again, knowledge and wisdom, but you go in there being stealthful. That's supposed to be making a sound when you're doing that, but unfortunately, common sense isn't common. So, let's grab a weapon and have some fun. So I'm inching in, I step forward, I'm inching in, and I don't know where they are, and we're there. He knocks that down, and I thrust in. So another variation of the technique, and there are many variations to this technique, because there are many different situations that you could use this for. And what I mean by situations, I mean variable of the same situation. I mean, obviously you're going through a home you don't know, you hit somebody, but the variation we just looked at, you hit someone and then they have some sort of a weapon and they knock it down. Well, you go in for a thrust. But there also could be the variation where you hit them, they run away. Or they hit them and they step this way. They hit them and they step that way. You hit them and they don't have a weapon. There's so many different scenarios that can happen. So that's what training's for. It's not, like I said, it's deeper than just the words on a page, right? let's go with the scenario here where you're probing the room. And as I'm doing this and I'm moving along, and let's say that I hit right, I hit him. And then kind of just turn towards me there, just turn. I feel that. What you're going to do is thrust forward. All you're trying to do is you're going to use the scabbard, you're going to put your sword in the scabbard and thrust forward to kind of create some distance. So see I did that? Then I want you to pull your scabbard off the sword and then go in for the ski. You see how we did that? So it's another variation where they turned into you, and as they turned into you, that turning, go ahead and turn to me again, just turn toward, that pushes the scabbard in. You see that? Here, turn again, turn around. Now, as he turns, go ahead. See how that turning, let's go this way so they get a better view for the camera. So I'm here, and as he turns, go ahead. That happens. If he turns, when he feels that he turns in, the scabbard comes on the sword. So looking at natural human reaction, how can we take that if that is a very common motion and we want to have an applicable skill? So we get back in position. We're here. I'm probing the room. And as I'm here, he turns. I thrust, I push. I pull that off. Then I come in for the ski. As you guys can see, if we was to take Zasagashi, there are so many different variables. You guys were seeing what happens if they turn around and grab the scabbard. You pull it out and stab them. Or what happens if they wrap up and then you would, there's so many different variables of that technique. You catch what I'm saying? And the fact that you guys are seeing that there's so many variables and variations with each one of these, that's good, because that's the growth of the way that you should look at ninjutsu and bujutsu. That's why it takes a lifetime to master something. Because you just don't learn one thing and then this is it. You catch what I'm saying? And that's the thing that I think so many different people miss, specifically in the online ninjutsu community. In the ninjutsu community period, no. Ninjutsu community is people who go to the dojo and train. That's the majority of the ninjutsu community. But the majority of the ninjutsu community is not the online ninjutsu community. The online ninjutsu community, they're a little different. You know what I mean? They're more focused on what the book says, and they believe, they clearly think ninjutsu is only as deep as the piece of paper that they're reading. And I think it's much deeper than that.